Hi guys, it's Belle here with something a little different. It is a flip through, but with a difference. So some of you may know that I have been participating in pinkoddbirds monthly journal prompt challenge. I will leave the details linked down below. Basically, she creates 7 prompts per month and will throughout the year, and then you get to work on those prompts in a way that you like. So I am a bit behind. I feel like I've been playing catch up since January 1st. So I've only just completed February's prompts and I'm about to start the ones for March. And I wanted to just come on and kind of show you what I've been doing. I know that I actually did a craft with me for one of the pages in January, and you'll have to just excuse the mess. I've been working on my crafty mat. So firstly, I decided I've got a couple of these small journals that I brought ages ago, and they are only 6 by 4-ish, and I really wanted to use them up. That's one of the themes that I've seen lots of people, me included, this year seem to be trying to use up our stash. And actually for a lot of the spreads in here, that's the other thing I'm doing. I'm trying to use up things that either I've been saving because I really like them, and you know, as crafters we can be hoarders, or they're things that I've just got that I just haven't used for a while. So I decided to use these journals up as one of my use it ups too. So let's get started. It won't be a huge in detailed flip through because some of the stuff's a bit private, but anyway. So this was how the journal was decorated. I've taken all the tags and everything out, and this is January. So for each month, let me show you, I'll get March's here. There is a page of prompts that you can download and print out. And so this is January's page. I only added a few little bits because a lot of it was quite decorated. And then for each month, I'm actually going to put a little tab and just put, that's the wrong way around, just put the letter of the month, because again, I've got loads of these letters that I need to use up. So let's get started on January. Prompt 1 for January was use the first letter of your first name to come up with a word that can be your motivation for the year. Now, I always do a word of the year every year anyway. I don't normally choose it. It normally comes to me, but that's a whole other thing. So my word for 2020 is actually clarity. And as my name begins with B, I obviously had to work with the letter B, which you can see here. And I chose the word balance, and I just did some painting to bring in the different colours of the pages. Found this lovely sort of image that I loved of it's sort of Buddha and Hindu kind of inspired. I like the fact she's got all her hands doing all different things, but she's sitting serenely and looks balanced. And then I just had this little image of the chakras, because, you know, balancing your chakras. And I just wrote on the back of this tag about why I chose the word balance and how it works with my word clarity for the year. And then I used this die cut. I'd actually received this in Happy Mail several years ago, actually, and I've hoarded it and didn't want to use it. So I decided to use it on this page with all the blues and the purples. The next prompt for January was, what new foods would you like to try this year? Now, to be honest, there wasn't anything particularly I wanted to try. So instead, what I decided was, what new foods would I be more focused on exploring this year? So I have been a vegetarian for at least 30 years, around 30 years. But I do eat a lot of vegan meals just because, you know, vegetarian, vegan. So I actually wanted to try a lot more. I actually bought this cookbook because I love this vegan chef. I wanted to try and bake a lot more, so make a lot more vegan cakes. I also want to focus on trying to make my own pastas more this year. and experimenting with stock and things. And as I grow a lot of my own herbs and I drink a lot of herbal tea, another thing I want to do is try and make more of my own herbal teas this year. So the next one for January was, do you plan to travel? If so, where? Well, I don't have any specific plans to travel this year, but I do love to travel. So I just did this collage piece. And like, this is the tour at Glastonbury. I love going to Glastonbury. I just wrote, travel to places that uplift the soul. I've always liked traveling, and I've lived abroad and stuff, and I just, you know, so I've written in there about where I want to travel, or what, you know, places I might want to see this year, and just did a collage piece about that. Next one was about, the prompt was, hold on, did I miss a page? Yes, I did. So this one you actually saw me create, and it was use at least 2 types of washi on your spread today, and the word for the day is flourish. And I actually made these die cuts out of lots of washi that I have lying around, did some painting, just did added some Tim Holtz words, and yeah, nice simple page, but I think it looks really effective. And then day 5 was, what is something you envision doing differently this year than you did last year? So really, I've been having quite a lot of health problems the last few years, and I used to be really strong. I mean, I used to go to the gym like 4 times a week. I used to run 3 times a week. I used to lift weights and yoga, Pilates, the whole lot. And for the last few years, I've not really been able to because of health issues. So this year I want to really grow my strength, but I don't just mean like, you know, I want to both mental and physical strength. So I want to sort of work on myself. So that opens up and says, never, never give up. Breathe in the future and breathe out the past. So I just did a bit of painting, bit of collaging with some papers that I had that I loved, and then used this stamp that I love on there. So that's kind of what I want to work on this year, is rebuilding my strength. And then this one, which was the 6th prompt, set the mood for what you would like your 2020 to look like. So I just did lots of things, running, lots of spiritual things, making more family memories, you know, having more adventures, getting out in the wilderness a lot more, you know, just having a fun, uplifting year. So that is the mood board for that. And then the final prompt was actually, write a letter or short letter to yourself to be opened and read on New Year's Eve. Now, I do that already. I do that if you've watched my December daily videos. That's actually the thing I do at the end of my December daily, is I always write a letter to myself to be opened on New Year's Eve the next year. So I didn't actually write a letter. What I did was, I found these things about, sorry, some of this might be private, about what I want to start. So I said I wanted to start running again, what I want to quit, where I want to visit, what I want to learn, what I want to try, what I want to eat, what I want to improve. And I just wrote about things that I really want to work on this year. And I think doing it in a list form like that makes it seem more achievable. You kind of know where you're going. So on this page, did a bit of collage, a bit of stamping and stenciling. Then I used an envelope and cut it down. Again, used some stamps, a few embellishments I had, and just said, be your best, believe in yourself, own your story. Because I think that's what we all kind of have to do. So that was January's prompts. As you can see, they're really fun, and you can explore them in whatever way you kind of want to. So February, obviously, February is the month of love for a lot of people. And the prompts this month actually focus mainly on self-love, which I really liked. So I just, again, used this embellishment I've had for ages, a bit of scrap lace, little, some papers and bits that I had to do that. And I like doing this with the prompts. I like sort of making them into their own mini booklet. So that's a theme I will be doing all the way through the challenge. So day 1, what are 3 things that represent February in your opinion? Use specific words, descriptions, pictures or sketches. So February for me, again, I did a bit of a collage page. I like doing collage pages. February for me, the 3 things that I really think of, see, I had this little tag that had daffodils and looked very spring. So the 3 things that I really think of are Imbolc, which is a sort of ancient Celtic festival that I celebrate, and Imbolc is the start of spring. So February for me is all about Imbolc, the goddess Bridget, the start of spring, and planting seeds, both physically and metaphorically. This is the time of year you come out of hibernation from winter and you kind of start planning the year ahead. And it is also the time of year I really start actively planning what's going to go where in my garden. So I just use the Tim Holtz embellishment here with the birds because, you know, that reminds me of spring. Got a lovely image here. And you see the daffodils in the background. I've just written plant seeds today to harvest later. A white feather here because the goddess Bridget is linked to swans. And just the word spring down there. So that is what February means to me every year. And then the next prompt was, what is something you love about your hometown or current town? Well, I'm not even living in my home country, let alone my hometown. So the town I live in currently, one of the things I really love about it, one of the things I love about Britain actually, is that it is just full of history. And the town I live in at the moment is just outside London. So that's actually one of the things I love about it. I can get into London really quickly. But this town actually has a lot of history of its own. So just down the road from me, there are 2 forts. I actually I actually did a history degree. So history is actually my first passion. It's my first love. And I've actually been a tour guide at one of the forts near me. And one of the forts there has actually been there since, oh gosh, I think it was built in 1670. So it's very old. It's literally been defending that part of the coast all the way through from 1670, actually before then, but when that fort was built, and then on to the Second World War. And at the place where one of those forts is, I've actually got an image of the fort in the background, and this is an old map of the area that I'm living in. Queen Elizabeth actually stood there in August of 1588 and said to her troops her famous speech, "I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king." And it was actually there that she stood and said that when encouraging them during the war with Spain. So I wanted this to have a very neutral kind of colour palette because history and everything. This is just up the road from me. There's a house that's been there since, I think, 1200 and something, but it's actually turned into a restaurant now. But some of the actual original building, it's one of the only remaining buildings of its kind in my county. There's a lake there, and it said that there was 5 local women of my area who were accused of witchcraft, and it was said that they would use that lake to be tried in before then being moved to the big jail in a huge historical town near me. So this flips up, and I've just written about, oh gosh, more about the history and everything. The place I live in was actually mentioned in the Doomsday Book in when was it? 10 something or other, just 1086. After William the Conqueror came to Britain. And it was actually mentioned, it was in the top 20% of large settlements that were mentioned in the actual Doomsday Book. So tons of history, which is great for a historian. And then I do love using wax seals, actual wax seals. So this is one of my wax seals. Can you see that? And again, it's the quill and the ink. And then I put blotches on. So just looked very historical. So won't bore you anymore. I can talk forever about history. So that's one of the things I love. So prompt 3, write a recipe for self-love. Well, this was quite explanatory. So I just decoupaged a napkin in the background, used the stamp and another stamp here to say from the kitchen of me. Use some journaling cards. I have tons of Project Life journaling cards, and I don't really use Project Life folders anymore. So I used some of those and wrote a simple recipe. And then this piece of fabric down here reminded me of a tablecloth. In fact, I actually have one like that on my dining table right now. So that was that recipe for self-love. And then this day, prompt 4, write out a song lyric about something that means something to you today. So it worked out perfectly because there was actual music pages on this section of my journal. Couldn't have worked out better. And I decided to just use 2 colours of pink in the middle there, bit arty, and then use a couple of music stamps that I really love, and then I had this little one of everyone dancing. And the song I chose was I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack, sorry, not Warwick. I don't know if you've ever heard it. If you haven't, listen to it. I'm not a huge country fan. I'm much more kind of rock girl, rock and metal, but I absolutely love this song because it just talks about you know, never giving up, always choose joy and adventure and dancing, and never let fear kind of get in the way of you having, you know, exploring life, even if that means you get hurt sometimes. So I really love that. And then I just used a metallic pen, which you can just about see, in again a pinky colour, and some white gel pen. So that's quite a simple page, but I really like it. It really makes me feel joyful when I look at it. And then this day was use whatever's no, that's not it at all. What do I need less of and what do I need more of? And again, I had this Project Life card that actually said more of this please, so I kind of cut it down, made it into a pocket, used another one to use as a tuck, and sort of put in there what I need less of, and definitely need to worry less, need to be, I think we're all not as active in the winter, so I need to get that activity, and again that fits in with my health and everything. Use one of my favorite papers that I had as a scrap in the background, and then I had this image from magazine. I just love this image, just think she's beautiful. So, and she's kind of looking up, so I wanted to kind of write beside what I need more of, you know. I just think that works. Need more of this please, and she's kind of looking up thinking, yes, I need more of this. Just love that image. And then this day was really fun. So the prompt for this is use whatever's on your desk to make a page filled with hearts. Well, I had all these die cut hearts that I've either been sent or die cut myself, and so I kind of cheated a little bit with this. I really just wanted to use them up, so I just literally put that whole page full of hearts. And then I had this large Project Life card that was actually sent to me by a friend, and it actually says my heart. So the page underneath was sparkly, and I like the way my heart sort of shows through there. And then I did have some sequins on my desk because I'd recently made some shaker pockets. So this is attached by a brad, and it can actually go all the way around like that. And then I don't know if you can see, but there's actually little hearts in here and flowers. So that was just fun. I had a bit of fun with that one. And then picture of me. Day 7, what do I love most about myself? The word for the day is me. So I thought, okay, let's just be appropriate or not appropriate or whatever. Just do it. Just take a picture. It's meant to be about what do you love about yourself. I thought, just take a picture of me. So I did, and I turned it into a pocket. And then I had, again, this might be a bit private, some of this. I had this Project Life card that literally said, every photo has a story, and this is, and that actually says ours underneath. I think it's meant to be like a romance one, but I covered that up with some washi and put me. So every photo has a story, and this is me. And then I just kind of wrote on there things I love about myself, like my resilience, my sense of humour, which is quite quirky, you know, just things that I like about myself. My laugh, I don't know. And then I put on here, again, using Tim Holt's words, if you're lucky enough to be different, never change and choose to see the good stuff. Because I just think sometimes we focus too much on our too much on our faults or things that we think are faults. And I really think, you know, what I loved about the prompts for this month was that we focus on things that we really love about ourselves, or that we like about ourselves, or that we want to work on. So yes, that is February's. I've downloaded March's already, as you can see, and March's one is all about growth. So that's going to be fun to do, and I'll probably come on, and this will be a regular thing where I just come on once a month, do a quick, this was not quick, I know, but do a quick flip through of the prompts for that month. As I said, I'll leave all the details down below. It's really simple. Pink Odd Bird comes on, tells you the prompts for the month, gives you the link to her website where you can so easily download and print off the list. And this has been so much fun to work through, and it's great in between projects and things, and I'm getting to use up lots of things that needed using, but that also make me happy. So I hope you enjoyed that flip through. Love to hear what you think in the comments below. Love to hear if you're doing this or if you're thinking about doing this. You know, anything like that. Always love hearing what you've got to share. Thank you for joining me. That's all for now. I feel like a newsreader. Sorry. But hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I will be back again soon. Bye.